Hey, what's up, everyone? I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Here's What I Think with your host, Charles Tabansi, where we discuss everything from current events, economics, politics, and how it all relates to business and life. And folks, we got a bombshell story here that we want to get into. But before we even get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So last night, I was actually just relaxing on my computer, going through the internet. I was actually watching some anime. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing all of these various creators posting videos about breaking news. And Seltzer's poll came out. Is showing that Kamala is leading in Iowa over Trump. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So then I quickly begin to do some research, and it looks like all hell is about to break loose in this presidential election. And this is what we want to get into today. But first of all, before we even get into that, we've all heard the stories about, it's a close race. We all know this. But what I want to do is we want to show you guys just a quick snapshot of the presidential election over the past few years here. Let's look at the electoral college map back in 2020. We're getting this from CNN. And if you can see the map here, you see states like Iowa were red, right? If you look at the polling back in 2016, it gave the same result, that Iowa was red. And if you look at the current map right now, this is in 2024. If we just look at it here, as things currently stand, we have the battleground states, which are Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, as you see it there, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, right? Now, if you look at this picture here, you can see Iowa is currently in red. And I want you guys to keep that in the back of your minds, because it's related to what we're going to be talking about. So if you see that there, even CNN is showing, and most polls are showing, that Donald Trump has a healthy lead in Iowa. But then last night, the news broke after Ann Seltzer's released her poll showing that Kamala Harris actually has a 3-point lead over Trump in Iowa. And I want to read from this article. It's called the Des Moines Register. And I want to read what it has to say here. It says, Iowa poll. Kamala Harris leapfrogs Donald Trump to take lead near election day. Here's how. It then continues on. Kamala Harris now leads Donald Trump in Iowa. A startling reversal for Democrats and Republicans who have all but written off states' presidential contest as a certain Trump victory. A new poll shows Vice President Harris leading former President Trump 47-44 among likely voters just days before a high stakes election that appears deadlocked in key battleground states. The results follow a September Iowa poll that showed Trump with a 4-point lead over Harris and a June Iowa poll showing him with an 18-point lead over Democratic President Joe Biden, who was presumed Democratic nominee at the time. It's hard for anybody to say they saw this coming, said pollster J. Ann Seltzer, president of Seltzers & Co. She clearly leaped into a leading position. Now, if you look at this graphic here that we want to put up for you, it says Harris leads Trump among likely Iowa voters. Likely Iowa voters were asked, if the general election were held today and the candidates for president were Kamala Harris for Democrats and Donald Trump for the Republicans, Robert F. Kennedy for We the People, and Chase Olive for the Libertarians, for whom would you vote? If you already voted, for whom did you vote? And if you look at this poll here, this graph here, is showing that Kamala has a 47-44 lead over Donald Trump. This is earth-shattering news. Why is this earth-shattering? Because if Iowa could potentially be flipped, then it means that there are other states that could be flipped as well. Now, some of you are like, well, this is just one person, and who is she? Let's just go over some of her polling history in the past, and I want to read some of her history in terms of polls, and we can read here. So it says, this is 2012. A late September poll showed Barack Obama up 4 points, and the final poll showed him up 5 points. Both came very close to his eventual victory of a little under 6 points. 2014, a late September poll showed Johnny Ernest leading Bruce Braley by 6 points in an open state Senate race. But an early October poll showed Ernest leading by only 1 point. The final poll showed Ernest back up 7, and she won by 8. 2016, in early October, The poll found Donald Trump leading Hillary by 4 points. The final poll showed Trump by 7, and he won by a little under 10 points. 2018 in the midterms, the poll found Fred leading Kim Reynolds by 2 points for governor. The final poll showed the same, but Reynolds outperformed the poll and won by a little under 3 points. In 2020, a mid-September survey showed Biden and Trump tied. The final poll had Trump leading by 7 points, extremely close as 8-point victory. The same poll in the Senate race that year had Senator Johnny Ernest down by 3 points in mid-September. The final poll had Ernest up by 4, and she won by roughly 6.5 points. In 2022, a mid-October poll showed Chuck Grassley leading his Democratic challenger by just 3 points. The final poll had him up 12, nailing the final margin exactly. Both the October and final polls show Reynolds leading, and in her re-election bid by 17 points, very similar to her final of 18.5 margin. So what I'm hearing is that whenever Ann Salter puts out a poll and all the other pollsters are off, the conventional wisdom then says maybe you need to adjust your poll. Now, I'm sure there's some Trump supporters watching this like, man, this is nonsense. This is terrible. I don't believe any of this. This is just one poll. Now, I want to give you guys, I want to read a graphic for you guys. We're getting this from 538.com. The reason I want to show this to you is that her poll seems to be an outlier, and I want to show you what other polls are saying in Iowa. So let's look at it here. If you look at the Emerson College poll, it has Harris 45, Trump 54. This is all in Iowa. Seltzer and Co., the Des Moines Register Mediacom, it has her with a 3-point lead over Trump. If you look at the other polls, it has Trump with a lead of 51, 47, 51. So her poll is the outlier. The reason why a lot of people are reacting to her poll this way is because of her predictions in the past. Towards the very end of a given election, she'll come out, she'll make a prediction, and then that candidate that she predicted to win, in most cases, always wins by an even wider margin than she predicted. That's the reason why a lot of people are making a big deal out of this. Now, what does this mean ultimately? It means that you still go out there and vote. If you're leaning for the Democrats, if you're voting for Kamala Harris, this doesn't mean that, oh my God, we've won. Let's throw up our hands and start celebrating. No. It means that you need to get even more reinvigorated, more focused, and go out there and vote and ensure that you want to vote. If you're a Trump supporter and you're seeing this and you're like, man, this is not good news. We really need to rally together and go and ensure that we go out there and vote. This means you need to go out there, get yourself to vote, get your friends and family, whoever else you can convince to get them to. That's what it means. The shocker is the state of Iowa has not been in play for the last 2 election cycles. So for her to be showing that Kamala has a lead in Iowa means that the entire electoral college map could potentially change. Because if she's leading there, where else could she be leading? Because Iowa is deemed a red state, is deemed a state that Donald Trump was going to win no matter what. That's the reason a lot of people are reacting to it. So the question to the audience is simply this. Do you believe Ann Seltzer's poll is indicative of what we may see on election night or election day? Or do you think this is just an outlier and it still comes down to the battleground states that I aforementioned? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we'll catch you guys on the next show.